Welcome back, students. Today we would like to learn the basics of Microsoft Excel. So we'll be making a book list and a documentation for acquisition of books and basic stuff that we can do. So we'll take an example of some books and the book list, how we'll enter it in the Excel sheet. So first of all, this is your Excel sheet, and the first question or the point number 1 in your book is talking about that you must save it first. So and name the file as book list, then press save. So now you can see the name has been changed. Next thing is that we need to rename this sheet, and you can see that there are different sheets. You can add different worksheets over here in Microsoft Excel. If you want to delete them, you can right click on them and you can delete this sheet. And same goes if you want to rename it, just double click on it and type documentation for this one. So now this sheet is called documentation. So if we would like to know the exact location of the cell where is the actual cell number, so you can keep an eye on this corner. If I'll click F, so it's in the F and then it's looking at number 3, so it would call F3 cell number. And if I'll click on this cell, it would be called as C4, which is appearing in this box. Now in question number 1, after the documentation, it's asking to enter certain details in cell A1. So we can see this is cell A1. We'll enter the details as sparrow and pond. And then it's saying enter in cell A3, so we'll see the location of it. So A3 would be this one. We'll enter the detail as author. Then on A4 it's asking you to enter the date, and in A5 you'll have to enter purpose. Then it's saying on B3, again you can see the column B, and number 3 is just in front of author. You'll write your name, for example Mr. X, and then the date would be for example 13/10 and then 2022, and then it's asking you to enter on B5, enter the details to. So now you have entered the details. Now it's saying set the font size title in cell A1 to 26. So you'll go to cell A1 and then you'll change the size from here to 26. Next question is add a new worksheet after the documentation sheet and then rename it books. So we'll add another sheet over here. We'll double click on it and we'll name it as books. Now once that's done, the next question is in cell A1 enter book acquisitions. So we'll enter book, and then it's saying that in cell A2 enter the date, and in this one let's change it to 26 as well because that's what your book is saying. Then in A2 enter the date and then enter the date in front of it. It could be any date. It's saying enter it in B2, so we'll enter today's date, which is 13th of October 2022. Once that's done, then it's saying in the range A4 to G9 enter the data which is shown in the table. So if it's saying that you'll have to enter the data from A4 to G9, so it would be A4 starting from here, G is here, and this would be the area where we will be entering the data. So just for our reference, let's highlight it. So we can put a border from here, and if you want to get rid of this border, select this area again, go over here and select no borders. But just for the sake of understanding, we'll just select the border, and let me increase the size of it so that you can see it clearly. Okay, now we'll have to enter some data as shown in the table, which you can see in figure 1-43. As you can see, we have entered the data, but the information which is in this cell is appearing completely in this address bar, but you cannot read it easily in the cell which is on A5. We'll see how can we fix it later, but at the moment, just as we have entered the text over here, you can read it in this column or in this field, but it's not appearing completely in the columns. Now let's try to follow what else this book is saying. Insert a cell into the range A4 to A9, shifting the cells to right. So A4 to A9 is this range, and if we want to insert it and we want to shift these items, we'll right click on it and then we'll select insert. It's asking what to do. Now you'll have to select shift the cells to right as it's mentioned in your book. Click OK. Now as you can see that the entire data has been shifted to right hand side. Now enter the label book ID in cell A4. So this is cell A4. We'll enter book ID over here. So your book is saying that go to cell A5 and enter 02103-new, and then in the next field enter 09076. So you know that this data is appearing in the next field, which is autofilling from this column which is right next to it. It's called flash fill. So if you want to avail the feature of flash fill, you can click on this one and it would show you an option that it has automatically filled the things. You can accept the suggestions. Now in next question, it's saying set the width of column from A to D to 15 characters each. So from A to D is saying to change the column width. So for that we'll right click on top of the column and we'll select column width and we'll change it to 15. Now you can see that it expanded a little bit so that you can see the text which is in each cell. Now next one, it's saying set the width of column E to 30. So we'll change the column width to E to 30 and let's reduce it so that it appears completely on the screen. Then E, we have changed it to 30. Then it's saying set the width of column F to 20. So we'll do the same thing. We'll change the width of it to 20. And then it's saying change the width of column G to 15. So we'll change the column width to 15. Now in next question, they are saying set the book titles in the range E4 to E9 to wrap to new line. So E4 to E9, this is the text between E4 to E9. Now it's saying that as you can see the text is still not clear. If you'll click on this one and read, the complete text is there, but we cannot read it clearly over here. So we'll select the text over here and then we'll right click and we'll go to format cells. In format cells, then we'll click on alignment and here you can see wrap text. So once we'll click on it, you can see that now we can see the text because it has wrapped the text to the next line. Now we'll select the auto fit of the auto fit height from row 4 to 9. So we'll select all these rows from 4 to 9, and in order to select the width of it or the height of it from rows 4 to 9, we'll adjust it from here. Go to format and then select auto fit row height. If you can see that after selecting auto row height, if it has not changed anything, it means that it is considering it that you can read the text easily. But if you want to make changes to the height of the rows, you can select the rows you want to change the height for and then right click on this one and select row height, and this time enter it as 35 so that all rows are of the same size and you can easily read the text in this one. Now in question number 14, they are saying move the book in the range A4 to H9. So let's select from A4 to H9. As you can see, we started from A4 from here and we ended on H9. They're saying move A4 to H9, A8 to H13. So we'll have to cut it and then we'll select A8, which is over here, A8 to H13. So we'll drag it over here in this region. Then we'll select paste. So it would paste the data, and the entire columns and the data has been shifted to the field where it's starting from A8 and ending at H13. Now in the cell G15, enter total. So we'll go to G15, we'll click it over here, or if you have clicked it somewhere, you can simply type G15 over here and it would take you to the cell which has the value as G15. Then we'll type total here. So now we need to calculate we need to sum up all these prices which are appearing for all these different books. In order to do that, we'll click on the cell right under it, or where we want to have the totals. You'll press an equal sign over here to enter the formula, or you can click on the cell and type in the formula in this address bar. It's the same thing. So we'll put a equal sign over here, and whenever we are writing a formula, we'll start with equal signs, then we'll write SUM. When you type it, it would show lots of other formulas that you can use, but since we want to add all these figures, so we'll put a bracket over here, and then we'll select the range for which we want to have a total. So as you can see, it has selected from H9 to H13, which is shown up here. Then close the parenthesis and press enter. So now you can see the amount, which is a total of all these items. Next, they are saying go to A4 and enter total books. So this is A4, and we'll type here total books, and then it's saying go to B4 and enter a function to count the number of numeric values in range H9 to H13. So now in this field, we want to have a count of how many items are here instead of having a sum of these. So in order to count the items, we'll again press equal signs, and then we'll enter a function called count so that it would count how many items are there. Again, we'll open the bracket, we'll select the range for which we want to have a count, then we'll close the bracket and we'll press enter. So we can see that these are 5 items over here, 1 2 3 4 5. So that's the count for that. In next one, it's saying that in cell A5, enter total price. So we'll enter total price, and in cell B5, we'll display the value from cell H15. So that is H15. If we want to show that price over here, we'll put an equal sign and we'll select H15 and press enter. So now this amount is appearing over here. Now it's asking to enter average price in cell A6. So we'll go to cell A6 and we'll type in average price, and then we'll go to the next cell, we'll press enter, and then we'll use a function called average, which is this one, or you can write average yourself, and then you'll select the range of data and you'll close the bracket and press enter. So it gave you an average of these 5 items. That's a simple way to calculate the average, but it's asking something else in the question. It's saying that you'll have to calculate the price based on the items which is listed in cell B5. So we'll put an equal sign, we'll go to B5, and then it's saying to divide it, which is the total price, divide by the number of books, that total books we have purchased. So it would give us the same number as well. So either you can use an average function, or you can put a formula yourself in order to calculate the average price of the books. Now in next question, they are saying that add a border to each cell and adjacent to A4 to B6. So we'll have A4 to B6. We'll put a border around this one. Then it's saying put a border around A8 to H13. So A8 to H13 is this one. We'll put a border over here. Then it's saying G15 to H15. So we'll put a border here as well. Now in next question they are saying change the page orientation to landscape and scale it to fit so that you can print it easily. So in order to do that, we'll go to page layout and we'll change the orientation from here to landscape. Now once that's done, it's saying that they want to print it on one page. The entire worksheet should be printed on one page. So in order to do that, we'll select this one, and before it was appearing as automatic, now we'll change it to one page, and we'll change this thing to one page as well. And now if you want to check, we'll go to File, Print, and you can see a print preview over here that everything is easily fixed on one page. Now in next question they are saying to show the formulas. So in order to see the formulas that you have used, you can go to Formulas and click on Show Formulas. So as you can see now here in this column, instead of the calculation, you can see the formula. And if you want to print it with the same interface where you can see the formulas, you can go to File and go to Print, and then in the page setup you can go to the sheet and select grid lines, as they are saying that if you want to print it with the grid lines, that's how you can enable it. So that's about this exercise, which is exercise number 60 on your book.